Hi guys, here we are again. This is Ask Me on Monday, and today we are talking about that elusive thing called work-life balance. Here we go. So this week I'm responding to a question asked by the lovely Brigitte from MELT Cakes and Desserts. And Brigitte asked, how do you manage work-life balance? How do you draw the line at when work stops, especially when you work from home? Work-life balance is one of those things we all struggle with. In fact, I'm one of the worst culprits. For as long as I can remember, I've been a bit of a workaholic. And the way that I've dealt with it is by taking up hobbies and scheduling loads of social engagements. But frankly, by the time the end of the week comes around, I'm so tired that I usually end up crashing on the couch. So surely there's got to be a better way. Well, I think that there are three main things preventing most of us from achieving work-life balance. And here they are. Number one, thinking that balance means doing everything in equal measure all the time. There's a school of thought that says work-life balance is like a three-legged stool. So each leg would represent a different aspect of our lives. For example, one leg is work and career, one is family relationships with family and friends, and one is yourself. So rest time, health and fitness, spirituality, self-development, sleep, that kind of thing. So what the theory is basically suggests is that in order for the stool to stay upright or in balance, everything has to be always equal. Now, I don't really buy into that theory because I think work-life balance is much more fluid than that. I see it more like a balance board, and this is what a balance board looks like in case you haven't seen one before. So with a balance board, there's much more of an ebb and a flow. So sometimes something will take up all of our time and other things might have to suffer for that. Yet other times, there's much more of an equal mix between the different aspects of our lives. So the idea of the balance board is that you do have to keep your eye on all aspects of your life to make sure that no one area is being neglected. So I do like that analogy much more than the three-legged stool to describe work-life balance. Number two, not setting and sticking to boundaries. Often when life gets really crazy, we go into autopilot and we start doing what everyone else is demanding of us, rather than stopping to think about what it is that we want and what we need. Now, if this is something that you do often, get out of that habit now. We need to be setting boundaries between our work life, our relationships, and time for ourselves. So if this is something that you struggle to do, you can follow my 3-step guide to setting boundaries, and here it is. Firstly, set physical boundaries. Separate your spaces for work, relationships, and self. So for example, if you do work from home, separate your workspace so that it's not in the living room or in your bedroom. Try to compartmentalise each part of your life so you're spending quality time in your relationships, on yourself and at work without them spilling into each other's time. This is the concept of be here now. So try and physically adapt your life so that you're able to spend quality time in each of those areas without them spilling into each other's time. Secondly, set time boundaries. Establish start and end times for your workday. Have a ritual or an event that signals the beginning of and the end of your workday. So for example, get changed for work, and when you finish, change back into your home clothes. Take a walk around the block, to and from work, or set an alarm or a bell that says it's time to knock off. All those things are really useful to set time boundaries for your work day. Schedule things in your diary and make sure you stick to them. It's actually a secret to success for many people. So if you want to get to the gym, put it in your diary and make sure you go. Thirdly, set personal boundaries. So know when to say yes and when to say no. Do things that make you happy and bring you joy. Be around people who uplift you and encourage you, not people who are going to drain your energy and drag you down. And here is the third reason that I think prevents most of us from achieving work-life balance. Number 3, not including downtime into our schedule. We all know that we should be prioritizing health and fitness, and most of us work really hard to stay focused on that. But what about things like getting a good night's sleep, or resting, or even doing things that are going to nourish our soul and help us grow as a person? Now, I think that these things are so important for our overall balance. And in fact, they're just as important as looking after our children, or growing our business, or going out with our friends. And I know that there's a school of thought that says that these things are selfish or decadent, and they're a luxury. But I'm not really a fan of that way of thinking. I actually think this is the stuff that makes us interesting people and better parents and better friends and better spouses. I think, and it also helps us to make a difference in the world. And ultimately, this is the stuff that keeps us sane and able to continue on with this work-life balancing act. Thanks for watching, guys. That's Ask Me on Monday for this week. If you liked what you saw, then don't forget to hit like below and share it with your networks. And also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the links are in the description below. So that's it for this week, and I'll see you next Monday. Thanks, guys. Bye.